My mouse for the comments. Oh, I'll be back.
Well, we're going live, so funny. All right, so let's see. Are we live now? Come on. It's my Chromebook, so it's a little bit. There we are. Now we are live. Now we're live. Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Hogarth's Global Astrology. Here we are. You will see this is welcome to the Christmas special. Lena is here. Actually, she just ran to grab her mouse so that she could have a scroll and look through the comments. I'm not actually at home today. I'm in South London, so I'm having Christmas with a friend of mine down in South London, and I was with my sister earlier on in the day. Lady G, how has it been for you? I understand you're just getting over a cold. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm still in the tail end of it, feeling like I'm on tilt. But yes, I'll motor through, as you say.
Oh, yes, and looking very glamorous today. Can you tell me is this a riff on Minnie Mouse that we have?
Yes,
I'm back.
Well, we've got
back
here and Goofy.
I found this from yesterday.
Oh, there you go. How? I've got Mickey and everything here, so we're doing the mouse here.
I know. I don't like wearing these sort of things because I always think you look like a Playboy bunny. And it's kind of sad when you're my age and they think, oh, she's giving it a go, you know.
Well, I'm wearing a lovely scarf today that was given to me by my niece. It was a present from my niece, and it's very nice. It's Irish wool, and it's Muckross Weavers, and it's from Killarney in Ireland.
Oh, bless the old country. Oh,
yes, yeah, because my niece's partner, he's from Ireland, so I've got that as a present today. So I'm feeling quite smart. So everyone, today's show is going to be it's less structured, it's more freestyle. It's Christmas Day at the end of the day, and it's just like we're just going to go with it a bit loosey-goosey. So we're going to talk about some kind of general themes, and also as well anything that comes up in the questions as well. We might do one card pulls and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Lena, let's start though with because you have a question, don't you? Can you remember what it is? Or
me?
No, yeah.
Oh, wait till I turn off my phone.
Let me just say, I'll find it. Here we are.
Yes.
Kamala Harris.
The question is about Texas Governor Abbott has sent 2 busloads of immigrants to Kamala Harris's house.
Wow.
In Washington. So he sent them all the way from the border to Washington. Make a point. The Christian Taliban, they're appalling. Do they really think this is a winning formula? Isn't it just dreadful?
Wow. My goodness.
And making no provisions for them or anything, you know, no one to receive them or anything. So fortunately, real Christians and people who aren't necessarily Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, anything at all, decent people have rallied to feed them and get them medically checked out and give them somewhere to keep the children warm.
Wow. My goodness.
There's no low these people will not stoop to.
It's just astonishing, isn't it? It's just absolutely astonishing.
What would make you think that was a good idea?
Yeah. And wow, so we'll definitely look at that. Just so you know, everyone, so because I'm away in South London, I don't have my usual things. I'm using my other laptop today, which we know is a little bit slower, but the other one wouldn't fit in my bag. And I've already had 2 Christmases today and one yesterday, and I'm just like slightly frazzled, let's put it that way. So we'll see how it goes. Thank you everyone as well for joining us as well. Many of you also as well, I imagine, will see us on Boxing Day as well, because you've been having Christmas with your families, you're going to be full, you're going to feel sleepy. So this is also as well a welcome and a hello to everyone who might be seeing us in the morning mind you, there are quite a lot of you already here in the chat. And let me just see if I can get...
because in Australia, this is a big sporting day for us. We never take time off from sport. So it's the Boxing Day tests. Now, usually that means we kill the Poms at cricket, but this year it's South Africa.
Right.
And we also have the Sydney to Hobart yacht race, which is a tradition every Boxing Day, all these maxi yachts that costs, you know, you can't even count the money these boats cost. It's really stupid. But anyway, every year off they go.
So shall we read then, like with this Kamala Harris development, let's see how we should approach that in terms of, do we want to see, like, will this work for the GOP, or you know, in that sense, or do we want to look at it more from the Democrat side, or both?
Let's do both.
What do you think, Lady G?
I said let's do both.
Right.
Yeah,
okay,
let's look at just open it up to the issue and see what comes up.
Yeah.
Because we can be outraged, but probably if the Martha Vineyard's anything to go by, the individuals involved, the actual migrant people taken, perhaps get better treated than they would be if they'd left at the border. This is a symbolic thing. So their actual welfare possibly could be better off. But that's not why they're doing it, of course.
Of course not. No, it's not why they're doing it at all. Just seeing how my clicking off and clicking off is going. So let's look at this now. By the way, you're going to see a new tarot deck here, guys.
What?
Now, this tarot deck is astonishing. Yeah, it is astonishing. It is by this artist. What is he called? It's called Manzel's Tarot 2. This is it, Manzel's Tarot 2. And the link, if you're interested in his cards, is in the video description. But to give you an idea,
give us a flash of a few.
Let's just flash it like oh God, where's the really? I mean, look at this for the star card. Oh
yeah.
Look at that. Yeah, so it's very, very kind of mystical and stuff like that. So let's get stuck in. Let's see. So shall we ask, will this be a successful tactic for the GOP, or is it just more desperation? And then we can look at Kamala's side, the Democrats.
The GOP.
Yeah, how does this play out for the GOP? You know, they're starting their cray-cray already. How does this play out for the GOP? Let's see here. How does this play out for the GOP?
Oh, interesting.
I'm laying everything on my laptop here.
Okay, I could go if you want.
Go for it. Go for it.
Well, a few big cards. The first is the Hierophant. So given that Hierophant represents law and order and the forces of government and conventions of society and things like this, I think they blew it with the timing. Even for their own people. Theft, I think theft of dignity, they're bereft of ethics. They're bereft of any Christian heart, for that matter. This is just running off with whatever they can get. They get the magician going, we're going to dish it to the Dems, you know, we're going to show them. This is them laughing, smirking, thinking it's hilarious. But fool's gold. Fool's gold. Like I said, this could actually benefit the individuals, but also I don't think this necessarily plays well in the mid-heartland as a clever political tactic. This just looks like bullying misery guts.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, what I have here going into it is the wheel This is a wheel. So it's going to backfire on them. The wheel is turning. The privileged lady. So I take that to be Kamala. And that's key here. That when we have above it, you know, this heartbreak, this difficulty and stuff that people are holding to what's being given, you know, because people are going to step up with this. So going into it, we have, of course, Abbott and his thoughts, how he's going to paint this, his craziness, delusion that he thinks he's going to have. But that's cooling off with people because, you know, his dark deeds. Okay. Going into it, this is a gift for the White House. Okay. This is a gift for the Biden administration. It's a win for them. Okay. As to, you know, moving forward, new truth and things. And when it comes to the marriage with his, you know, with his MAGA crowd, this is getting cut. It's getting tied up because what? This is Christmas.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah.
This is the time to celebrate.
I know. We'll dump a couple of busloads of adults and children in the snow. Christmas.
Yeah.
God, we're clever.
What would go wrong with that plan?
So has this happened literally like in the last day while we've got blizzard stuff going on? Oh my God. I mean, we'll be talking about the weather in a little bit, folks, but this is just, it's just astonishing, isn't it? It's just I remember in my 2022 predictions, I said, we're going to see stuff that we have never, ever seen before in politics and on planet Earth. And wow, it's just beyond what's even been imaginable. So the card that I get, sorry, folks, the voice will clear. We've all been Ganga and I have been struggling with colds and stuff like that. So it's not been great. So look, 7 of Cups. Yeah, 7 of Cups. This sums it all up. They're delusional. They're absolutely delusional. One of the things I predicted that the GOP, well, it's not that easy, difficult to predict, but that all they've got up their sleeve now is sabotage. That's all they've got. Mishigas, sabotage, making a absolute pain of themselves, doing these outlandish things. And I think people are just seeing it for what it is, like the absolute madness. We look at the obstacle card here. Look at this, the 10 of Swords, yeah? 10 of Swords. So we can see, well, we can see what the intended goal is, of course, is to absolutely mess up, you know, Kamala Harris. But in a way, for me, I think it's going to backfire.
Totally.
I think it's going to backfire because it's just so grotesque.
Yeah, it is.
Really? It's grotesque.
Any night of the year, it would be whatever it was. Christmas Eve.
Christmas Eve.
In the blizzards. In the blizzards.
Exactly. In the blizzards.
With no one to receive them.
And it's just so cruel. It's macabre. It's grotesque. One almost runs out of adjectives to even describe what it is because it's just so over the top. It's so over the top. Okay. Here we are, 10 of Pentacles, which we can often know represents elements of the GOP, isn't it? The money, the funding, the finances. And I think they're going to carry on with this for as long as people keep giving them money. I think they're just thinking up of more and more outlandish ways. They know that they can't win the arguments because I think the electorate overall feels like this about the GOP. So they're almost like, what can we rattle? Who can fund us to come up with even more extraordinary and cruel things? But look here, we've got the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups is about walking away. Now, as you can see, these tarot deck, it's not literal, but we all know the 8 of Cups. And I think what's going to happen is the old money is going to start leaving because, like, they could die. I don't even want to. It's just extraordinary. And when you guys were picking up, maybe in terms of the this could actually help the Democrats. We've got the 3 of Cups. Celebration card kind of coming out, but really, what does this mean? Who is celebrating? What kind of victory is this? And when I look at either end, I think it's this deluded sense of celebration and victory. Do you know what I mean? They've just gone doolally. It doesn't make any.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? They're just crazy.
Yeah, it is. Oh, we've got an early request for Shakespeare here, Hogarth.
Unfortunately, Shakespeare is at home, my dear.
No, it's a disaster. Okay.
Because I'm not at my desk, and I realized I was like, oh, I forgot about Shakespeare. Well, one or two people don't like the Shakespeare, actually. They said, I don't like the Shakespeare, but I said, but a lot of people do, and it adds something. But for the next show, Shakespeare will be back.
Shakespeare will be back.
Indeed. Shall we pull then on how maybe Kamala is feeling about this? I'd be, a penny for her thoughts. So we see how Kamala's doing.
Can we just pull one card for this?
Yeah, fine. Yeah. Let's have a look. Let's do a one card pull for Kamala.
How's Kamala feeling?
What a scenario, isn't it? I just can't believe these people. And we're going to see more of it, by the way, in 2020. We're going to see more. Kamala, how's Kamala feeling about this? Oh. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
After 3, 1, 2, 3. What do you get? Hangman. Oh,
you got Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Good on you. There we go. Yes, Montana.
Wow. How do you interpret your card then, Lena?
I think this is the migrants themselves being used as a sacrifice.
Oh, of course. Yeah,
and that's how I think she sees it. Well, she's a functioning human, so, it's not a huge leap. Just seeing that they've been used.
Yeah,
in this.
literally. Yeah. And left hanging, quite literally
and
left hanging,
suspended in the cold, in another state, without any resources.
Wow. Lady G?
Well, I think that it's going to bring justice. It's going to, backfire on them so bad. It's going to make him look so pitiful that it's going to make the Democrats look really good, that we step up to the plate.
Yeah.
This will be done.
Indeed. And here I've got this is the Ace of Wands. So I think literally Kamala Harris and the Dems are going to take this and run with it and, initiate kind of like this obviously is going to lead to the initiation of new ideas and plans, because this has to stop. This really has to stop. Trafficking people from one side of America to another to make these political points, and then dropping them in the cold in Washington in the middle of a huge plunge. I mean, it's
bizarre that they even dreamt it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they didn't give them warm clothing or anything either. I mean,
they could die. They could literally die. It's just like, it's minus whatever temperatures.
I couldn't bear to look at Fox to find out, but I'd be interested what the conservative media is saying about this. Does anyone know of the viewers? Can you let us know if you find out?
Yeah, if you can let us know in the comments. Because how do you even begin to defend that? I don't know. It's just like, it's macabre. It's very perverse. We're in very strange. The GOP are in a very, very weird place. Very, very weird place indeed. Do you want to talk about weather, or do you want to talk about Russia, ladies? Which one do you want to do? Right.
Both.
All right. So let's talk about weather, because since that kind of dovetails in. And you guys would know, I've said when Saturn's in his own signs, when a planet's in its own signs, it's very strong. Saturn has been in Capricorn since 2020, and now he's going into Aquarius. So 17th of January goes into Aquarius. Aquarius is an air sign. Saturn is a cold and dry planet. Aquarius is the coldest sign of them all. He's pulled the lever a bit sooner than I expected, because in my Saturn video, I said Saturn's going to pull the lever and he's going to bring us a cold plunge. I hadn't realized when I was making the video that the cold plunge had already happened a day or two before because it's been Christmas and I've just been busy or whatever. So I think we're going to be in for these, well, we see it, quite extraordinary cold weather events. And what I want to ask is how will this affect America going forward? Just like people, like the homeless, people that need heat, just how will this affect Americans, these cold plunges?
And while we're talking about weather and the homeless, UK stats on homelessness have gone up 20% in 1 year.
20%? Oh my God.
And the number of deaths has gone up.
You know, I'm not saying this is Coca-Cola, by the way, just in case everyone's wondering. It is actually Coca-Cola. That was the nearest glass. The UK, as you know, is an absolute SHIT show. Yeah.
Yes.
It really is. That's why I'm taking a break. It's tragic. It's just tragic. And we've got our own cold plunge coming. So let's see how this will affect people in the States, this cold plunge. It could last for a while, guys. This weather, I see it going on for, there'll be brief respite and then it could just all come back again. Let's see, how's this affecting people in the States?
A viewer says homeless found frozen to death in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Shame on everybody.
Yeah.
It's not a Demo Republican issue, just shame.
Yeah. You can't resist as a human being. Unless you are at house shelter, you cannot resist that kind of, you will die. It doesn't matter what you're wearing, unless you're in the middle of a buffalo like they used to do back in the days, but to weather the night. But no, you will pass. It's just like, wow.
So
who would like
how
to go?
Americans react to this extreme weather?
Let's see. Well, actually, well, I'm ready to go. I don't mind.
Yeah, go.
Oh, look at this. All right. Says it all. Symbolizing the reading. Yeah. Three of Swords. Yeah. Heartache, pain, anguish, everything that we've just been talking about. Of course, there it is. The obstacle card, Two of Swords. Governments, organizations not wanting to face the decisions that need to be made about this thing. Power grids, infrastructure, emergency shelters to protect people from these cold plunges. It's like no one seems to be prepared. No one seems to know what to do. We know that there's a homeless crisis for donkeys in America. Time for some decisions to be made about it. Now, the next card here is the Four of Wands, and this is normally associated, believe it or not, with what a safe, warm, and happy home. How interesting, isn't it? It's normally the wedding card and stuff, but when we look at it in the context with the card that's come before, with the Two of Swords and the Three of Swords, we know people don't have warm, happy homes. There's not enough Americans that have that stability. The money security, look, Queen of Pentacles, which is all about security, looking after the home, but making sure everything's paid, looked after, values, food. So we can see the context already. And then the outcome card is the Five of Pentacles, and we all know that's what card of poverty and stuff like that. And I think we've reached a point now where there is a critical mass, where decisions have been delayed for so long, it has led to this. We could see maybe the biggest number of homeless people die on the streets because of cold ever.
Yeah, I think it's inevitable.
Yeah, how could it not be?
But the biggest numbers of homeless in the biggest freeze, it's going to be quite confronting.
Yeah. Who would like to go next?
I'll go ahead. They need to come off their high horse and get to some balance and stuff with this, these angry things, because in the center of it, we've got this storm, and it's dark and it's difficult and it's eating away at, you know, some abilities and some things. We need to get realistic about what's happening with it. With the community, they need to ante up some more money, some more funds, and put in something good offerings somewhere rather than the drama that's being done. And the key is with all of this, we need to communicate and reevaluate things and start, you know, again, working together to solve some of this.
Yeah.
And this is a problem across the board. It's a major problem in Australia as well.
Really?
Absolutely. The fastest growing group of homeless in Australia are women over 50.
What?
They weren't ever part of the demographic of the homeless
Wow.
outside of severe mental issues or drug breakdowns. Fastest growing because rents are unaffordable. See, we've got to come back to the sociology of what's driving this. I'll tell you my cards and then I'll have one more little spit, you know.
Sure, go for it.
Yes, this is a very distressing issue, and it should be. And it should be. But I get the sort of optimistic spin on this, in the sense, Wheel of Fortune. This is about our collective identities again. If we can walk by the homeless without a glance, we are slightly less as people for every time we turn our backs on a hungry child, an abused child, a homeless person in some way. I'm not saying we have to take them into our own lounge rooms or whatever, but compassion. Compassion. And to use what tools we have to help the issue. This is nitty-gritty steps need to be taken because there's not one solution. As someone just said in the comments, homeless shelters are often really dangerous places.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. They are so not shelters because you've got a congregation of complications, trauma, plumped
together.
in there. Need to be serviced. But I have a comment on that. Slow and steady, it needs funding and it needs to be thought out properly for long-term solutions. And then there can be victory. So what's happening, just indulge me for a minute, this is one of my high horses. And that is because my own grandparents were homeless over and over and over. At the turn of the century, they were poor Irish and they rent. And you can tell when you read the forms where each of the million babies was born, it was a different address, different address, different address. So they were constantly evicted and made homeless over and over. Wow. So I've got this place in my heart about this issue. And what's happened in most cities is the inner city of most cities used to be cheap living. Migrants would come and move to the inner city thing there because it was cheap. You would have all the associations, good, bad, and ugly, of inner city communities, but artists and musicians would live there because it was cheap, whether it was London, New York, Berlin, Amsterdam, Sydney, right? Then, of course, that real estate became desirable. And so there used to be boarding houses in every city. They weren't fabulous, but they were affordable. You know, so if you got the bare minimum, you could stay in a very cheap boarding house. All of those were demolished during the Reagan era, the Thatcher era, the Howard era here, and not replaced. At exactly the same time, they said, let's let everyone out of the mental institutions and hope for the best with no support. Right, so I'll stop there, but you get the drift. It's actually a result of policies, and there needs to be multiple policies, starting with the children. The number of children who are being brought up in the backseat of cars, right, is disgusting.
Yeah, it's just like, wow. And, you know, this is one of the things as well. We're all having to face these contrasts, aren't we, as things become more extreme. Like literally in the UK, for me, you know, because obviously we're sensitive people, empathic people, I can feel the misery and the dread and the sheer insecurity that people feel, and people skipping meals, and it's just astonishing. Like in these modern times, isn't it? Where we, according to Back to the Future, we all should be in cars that fly by now. Do you know what I mean? And it's just the same old stuff, isn't it? The same Dickensian stuff. Anything else to add?
Well, it's kind of, I think,
once you're homeless, it's really and you're even working age and you're willing to work, it's really tough to get back on your feet. I know, I've been there. Wow. I've gone through that. And then you get taken advantage of. I tell you what happened to me. I was homeless. I was taken in by the Salvation Army that's supposed to be this lovely institution. So they give you a place to stay. They go down, they get you on welfare, they take your welfare check, they make you work for them. They give you a little stipend that you have to spend. You have to buy your provisions from them. And the only way you can get out of it is to get there and grab your check before they grab it. So that you can get out and get on your feet. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and the problem is all social services now get outsourced and privatized. So it's hard to trust the Salvation Army in this context, or any of the organizations. They get government funding for doing it, but no one is checking or cares about the service delivery. You know, I took my box as a politician, you know, and so there could be job, because if homeless shelters are going to be safe places, you need quality staff, you need mentally health trained staff, you need security, you need social workers, but it needs to be compassionate. They need to be on the same page as each other, you know.
Right.
To make a difference. But
all of this stuff needs to be cleaned up. There's so much work to be done.
Yeah.
This is astonishing. And also as well, I myself and our audience as well has just learned something very profound and important for the both of you, which is close to both your hearts for real valid reasons, because you have first-hand experience either by family or going through it yourself in terms of homelessness and not having that security and how that affects our well-being and our mental health. And if I just throw in a little bit of an astrology analogy here, the first house is the body. So you got the angles 1, 4, 7, and 10. And they're the angular houses because they're pivotal to life. The first house is your body. You need to have a body. The fourth house is the home, real estate. And when you think about it, you can have your body, but if you don't have a house, how can you have relationships and business? 7th house with the outside world. 10th house is highest purpose and career. You can't.
No, and if you have no address, you can't access any of the services from that point. You know,
Exactly.
That vicious cycle. That is. Thanks for sharing, ladies, because I think that's quite profound, and I think that will touch a lot of people. What I wanted to let's talk about Russia. Yeah.
Oh, let's
Russia. And again, for entertainment purposes only. Now, I was watching something the other day called on YouTube called Business something. I can't remember. And it collects these stats and these very kind of quite slick kind of like programs and stuff. But the point is this. I discovered, I kind of knew, but it was made explicit in this video. At the fall of the Soviet Union in 1991, the USSR, Russia had 148 million and loose change people, there. As of 2021, the census was 143 million and loose change, So basically over 30 odd years, their population not only has not been able to sustain itself, it's gone down. They said with the illegal war and all of that stuff, almost 4 million people, all in from various different factors, have moved away. Yeah, they've either been poached or they've moved out, and it's all added up. This is like coming towards, of course, the back end of 2022. So I just wanted us to do, if we could do a general read on Russia. We'll leave Putinishka out of it for a moment, but just how the Russians are doing and their future. Yeah.
I think that's important. And figures are between 600,000 and 1 million Russian men have left this last year to avoid conscription.
Yeah. And then you would have their wives and then their kids, or if they have wives or whatever.
Yeah.
So you see, the aggregate of it is dreadful.
Russian.
So, because obviously everyone's in solidarity with Ukraine, but I do think it is important to see what's happening on the Russian side as well, because not everyone supports the war. Clearly, a lot of people have left. When you've got that many people who have left, does the country have a future?
That is not a supportive population.
No. They say for a population to support itself, the fertility rate must be 2.1. Yeah. So that's maybe like a boy and a girl and one extra just in case something bad happens. This thing that I saw, it said Russia's reproductive rate is 1.4.
Right. Now, a short digression here about that everywhere. The same with Australia. The US, young people can't afford to have children. Okay? They don't have job security. This is trickle-down economics. Everyone's birth rate is dropping. And that's why we all need migrants to keep up the standard of living by keeping the economy, by getting healthy younger workers in. That's why countries have prospered with immigration. And I don't think the Labor government anywhere or the Dems explain that in Sesame Street language to people. Immigration equals wealth. Right? Because the population is not sustainable. People aren't having 8 kids anymore.
True. Yeah, true.
Okay,
who's ready to go? Who fancies having a go as I look through the comments?
I'll jump in here.
Go for it.
Now, the first card I pulled was King of Cups, and I thought, we're talking Russia. Why is Biden here? But I don't think it is Biden. Now, the King of Cups is a mature man who, in the Biden world, who understands and empathizes with people. When the leader of a country is a maladjusted psychopath, it's manipulation of people's emotions. Right? He's talking, we just have to sacrifice for the greater good. Here we go, compromise. I know there's nothing to eat and your jobs have folded and you're freezing to death, but we're doing it for the better, right?
For Mother Russia.
Burden, massive burden on the Russian people, not surprisingly, both financially, emotionally, in every way. This is a burden. People are starting to talk to each other, right? It's normally dark money and I don't even know that, because this is the first time I can remember oligarchs defecting to the West and going on news channels criticizing Russia. They normally don't do that. Why are they doing it? It's because even oligarchs can't prosper in a damaged economy like Russia is now. Right. So this is people behind the scenes. I think, even the military saying we're losing too many. We can't actually pull this off. You've got the oligarchs going, we've got to get rid of him. What's going to happen? You know what I mean? I think it's those conversations. And it's time for judgment. And what does this mean here? I think no country can progress until it deals with its own narrative and the holes in that narrative. So the US cannot move forward without dealing with the reality of race relations. Right? Russia can't move forward until it would be better off as part of Europe and just forgetting all this empire building, obscure countries and all of that. You know what I mean? Like, people have to be honest. Australia has to be honest about the treatment of Indigenous people. When I was at school, we were taught Australia was called terra nullius, Latin for empty land. No people, no Indigenous people. What the hell? That went on for 100 years. So every country has to confront its narrative, and it's Russia's time to confront, we are great, we are mighty, the West is out to kill us, and therefore we should get in first. We've got no bread, we've got no rice, but we've got nuclear weapons. Time to move from this mindset.
Indeed, indeed. And we've got over 1,000 of you have joined us on Christmas Day. Honestly, I wasn't expecting that at all. So thank you everyone for joining us. And I hope you're having a nice, warm Christmas. You're having food. And if you happen to be alone as well, we wish you a Merry Christmas as well. And we're hoping that we're able to give you some company this evening, because of course some of us, I just wanted to say that. Wow. Yeah. Lady G, what would you like to add to that in regards to Russia?
Okay, well, going into it, you have to look at the book, you have to look at history and see how things play out. As far as the judgment that's coming down, they're going to be lacking and out in the cold, okay? It's not going to look good for Russia. We have that trying to move and create a new narrative, looking for someone they can marry to, somebody to aid in financial stuff, because the challenge is, again, the finances and above it, coming out of this dark period. They're going to be looking for some unexpected income, looking for, a message for somebody they can work with. The clarification is the key. Again, the gamble on wealth and something that they can hold to of a strength that's going to look good and benefit them. But they're going to look back for history for what's happening, and it's going to be difficult for them to find someone to work with that can trust them when it comes to finances and pulling them out of this mess that they've gotten themselves into with Putin.
Yeah, the cards I've got for him, they're quite dramatic, actually. Well, as usual, I tend to get quite dramatic cards anyway. So the situation for like Russia and everything like that. Now, this is really interesting. First card we get is the Sun. Yeah. So I think this is what? Reality. Yeah. Reality. Do you know, you hear it said somewhere sometimes that sunlight is the best disinfectant. I don't know.
Yes.
Here, this is the sunlight writ large. The facade has fallen down. Yeah. The facade has fallen down. The naked truth is there. This is literally almost like Russian men just leaving, walking into the sunset going, no thanks,
no more.
I'm out of here. Do you see the landscape is quite bleak and quite desolate? So it's almost like just this harsh truth, because normally the Sun card is a very jolly card. This one is more ambiguous, isn't it? The Sun is there, but it's a harsh reality. It's saying, but it's a barren landscape, and it seems so appropriate for this in this context.
Blinded by the light.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the obstacle? Look at this. The Emperor. The Emperor. Just what you guys are saying. This imperial mindset where you've got Puttanesca source thinking he's the Sun King. I know it all. I am the knower of all knowledge. I'm enlightened. Yeah, this is what he's trying to say. And it's total BS. Look, 3 of Cups. He's trying to sell it, some celebration, some kind of party. Don't worry, folks. Mother Russia is still good for entertainment purposes only. Everything is all right. And everyone's like, no, no, it's bleak, actually. My future looks bleak. They say, surprise, surprise, when there's instability, the birth rate goes down. Not
exactement.
oh, surprise, yeah, like obviously. So then we need to look here. Are you still here? What's happened? You've vanished.
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Yeah,
Can you
no,
see
we're
me?
all here.
Yes, everything's fine from our perspective.
Oh my God, I can't see you. You've vanished. 1 minute. I'm having a moment here. What happened? Let me just click on Google.
Viewers, can you see us?
Right.
Yeah, we see everybody.
It's because I've been putting the cards on my laptop, and as I've been picking them up, I've touched the pad, and it just went. Sorry, guys, I had a bit of a last two cards here. Oligarchy. Yeah, look, 10 of Pentacles, not the whole money structure. How much longer are they going to keep supporting this BS? That you can't have there or thereabouts millions of people leaving your country in 1 year and you think you're going to survive. They said the brain drain has become almost completely utter. Like those people are not going to come back. Even if it were to stop the war, they've already adjusted, found new lives, earning money, maybe actually having babies in other countries. One of this program actually even speculated that part of the reason why he wanted to take Ukraine as well was to boost the population. He's like, there's 40 million there, makes us look better. So if we look here, outcome card, 4 of Swords, being wounded in battle, having to reflect, ponder, and meditate on things, as is the case with this card here. They need to change plan. It's not working. And in the words of a certain Duck Larange, if you keep fighting like this, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Yes, yes. And I've got a little astrological question for you, Hogie. The Orthodox Christmas is the 7th of January because Greece, Russia, Ukraine use the Julian calendar. Some Ukrainians in protest celebrated ours on the 25th to separate themselves from Russia as a statement. But the majority of Ukrainians and Russians will be expecting Christmas on the 7th. Can we have a quick look or something?
Yeah. But what do you want to ask? Like, you want to...
Are there any astro meteorites on the 7th?
Oh, right. 7th of Jan. Okay. Not that I can think of right now because obviously I don't have my software with me. However...
Now, look it up during the week because there's time. It's still 2 weeks.
I'll look it up. But we're all going to experience a big change, folks. Get ready. If you think a lot of stuff happened in 2021 and 2022, this is bodice-ripping stuff that's coming. Aquarius is, even though it's the water bearer, it's an air sign. And you know the zigzags? Yeah, the 2 zigzags. And it means a few things. It doesn't just mean water. It means communication, electricity, speed, the mind. The co-ruler of Aquarius is Uranus, sudden shocks and surprises, flashes, rebellion. One of the ancient rulers is Rahu, which is the eccentricity and strange things. There's going to be all sorts of kind of comeuppances and stuff like that for people, but not necessarily who we expect. Because Saturn is going to move at such pace and speed, new regulations and stuff like that. It's going to be a very interesting 2.5 years. We're going to see a lot of stuff, folks. So I just thought I'd add that. Big change.
And Holly says, because I was talking about the 7th of January, of course, it's the anniversary again of January 6th flowing into the 7th. So
isn't that interesting? Yeah. We're going to see a lot of stuff. That GOP, in fact, as you know, I've been saying, look, the GOP's majority is as thin as a mosquito's willy. Yeah, we all know this. We all know they're going to try and mess things up, but let's have a little look to see what's going to happen when they take up the gavel.
Yes.
How about that?
Is that the 20th? When does that happen?
I don't know. Can anyone tell us in the comments if you know?
Well, sorry, my computer's not plugged in and I'm just running down. Why isn't it? Oh, it works better if the power switch is on.
So the GOP, how are things going to be for them?
The truth.
So what will they do, when they get the gavel? Gavel. Let me see if I can actually move my laptop back a little bit so I've got a bit of space for my cards. What are they going to do when they get the gavel? I've got a bit wrong. What do when they get the gavel? You can't actually see. No.
Oh dear, oh dear.
What, do you have a few shockers?
Yeah, they're minor arcanas, but the story is sort of curious.
Oh, bloody hell.
Mm.
Oh, dear. All right. Do you want me to go? Because mine is just...
Yeah, you go.
Like a 10 pence cheap novel. It's just so obvious here. All right. What are they going to try and do? Knight of Cups. Yeah, here we are, Knight of Cups. Now, we know that this can be a card of romance, but we're talking about the GOP here. So we know it's not it's the romance that kind of leaves you up the Swanee, so to speak. But it can also be bringing forward like the false message. It can be a nice card, but we know who we're talking about. So here they are with their false promises, false messages that are going to leave people up the spout. Look what turns up in the obstacle position. The Hierophant, government. They are literally going to chew up and gum up the government as much as possible. That's how I interpret that. Nine of Swords, worry, heartache, anguish, sleepless nights. I've always thought they're going to try and do something where they're going to try and hold like the country to ransom, like to try and stop maybe. Have they passed the thing where the debt ceiling is...
the spending bill's passed.
Okay, so fine. At least that part's out of the way. They're still going to try. They're going to try and sabotage any good thing, basically. Three of Wands. Yeah, now, oh God, I've got in my mind's eye, I've got to try and remember. Oh, Three of Wands, speculation. So they're going to be speculating, waiting for their ships to come in with their usual kind of Michigos, this, that, and the other. Three of Wands can also be very entrepreneurial as well. So when I look at this, though, with the Nine of Swords, they might try and affect business. They're going to just do things that are just unpleasant, particularly as the outcome card is the Five of Swords. And we all know the Five of Swords is what? An abuse of power. So I think it's pretty clear, isn't it? They're going to just try and mess things up. Who would like to go next?
Lady G?
Sure. Well, overarching thing is the fools, the path they're choosing to walk. So when they get in there, of course, they're going to be conversating as usual behind closed doors with their usual GOP MAGA rhetoric about the wealthy man and putting an end. So it's all going to be all about Hunter Biden and the Biden regime, and they're dirty and, the usual drama that they're going to try to do. Because for me, this is going into it. This is the long-term thing, and it ends in the death. Okay. So they're trying to play with judges, get them on their side to come down. with their regulations and stuff they want to try to get the judge to see their side. Anchoring in with more beauty, the fallacy, the lies, the drama, and working together with money, the clarification, shedding light on this moving forward, this change again, a lot of wanting to change when it comes into who they're in bed with. So it's going to be the usual GOP stuff, that we're going to investigate the left and come after all of you, and the usual drama.
Yeah.
Trying to secure their positions and anchor and jockeying for more position there in the party.
Yeah, just like Marjorie Lara said, the cruelty is the point, unfortunately, with the GOP.
Yes.
It's just sad.
Well, I'll fly through these. Anyway, got the King of Wands, which I think in this context of this question is actually Mitch McConnell, who, having been an abject and utter dreadful, cruel person in his own right for years, is starting to look moral by comparison with his
I know.
It's bizarre how that happens. Right? They're going to go in, yes, we're going to do this, Hunter Biden, and we're going to do all this rubbish. But here come their next cards. Suddenly they're going to find themselves on the defensive. Suddenly they're going to be a bit battered around the gills. Suddenly they're not going to be in a very flexible space to bring in their new and horrendous misogynistic, homophobic, racist, dreadful agenda, and they're going to have to limp, even crawl towards a compromise, almost begging for a compromise.
So could that be McCarthy maybe having to go cap in hand to the Dems? And because I just see it being, it's obviously a rat's nest, isn't it? It's a rat's nest. That it's so razor thin. Anyone that plays up can demand anything. And so it's almost like the GOP are going to have 3 Kirsten Cinemas in one.
Look, exactly. Ho, ho, ho.
It's going to be very interesting to see how it plans out. Someone's just said here. Sorry, Lena, had you finished? I just want to check.
Yes.
Yeah? All right. Someone here's put in a quirky question. Can you believe it? The hour's nearly gone already. What they've asked is, so Sue Toffee says, Orange Former guy says he's clairvoyant. Allegedly.
He's so gifted.
Oh, indeed. And Putin and Rebus all watching YouTube readers, ? So let's actually, for a bit of fun.
Yeah, sure. Let's have a look.
Let's see. Do they watch us, guys, and have ideas?
Yeah. One
Let's
card.
do one card. Let's do one card, Paul, and that will
close world readers watch. And we have to include clairvoyants, mediums, astrologers, tarot readers.
Exactly. The esoteric community, shall we say.
Thank you.
Do they watch us? Or maybe some of their aides watch us, but are they aware of our predictions? Wouldn't it be hilarious if Putin was watching us now, spitting feathers at the screen, going, "You do"? Well, maybe he's intrigued. We might know more than his aides do. Okay, are we ready? After 3, you ready, Lena?
Yeah.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Oh, magician card. Big cards. Big cards.
Lena, how do you interpret yours?
Well, I said this is the card of emotions, right? Doing it, but it's also, we forget with cups, it's the esoteric itself. It's the intuitive, the imaginative, the dream state. Well, yes, I'd have to say.
And it's also a yes card, isn't it? It's an ace. Wow. Lady G, what about your card? How do you interpret that?
Yeah, where things are moving, how things are going, what's up, what's the dark and the light of it all. Yeah.
And whether to make a move with the moving chariot. Yeah.
Yeah, whether to make a move, decisions to be made. And I think the last card here kind of sums it up.
Well,
the magician. The magician.
The magician. Oh, that is funny.
Literally, the magician.
But also, this has been a tradition from time immemorial. You know, that everyone used to go to the astrologers back in the day. In every regime, doesn't matter, you scratch the surface if you're talking to India, China, you know, the subcontinent.
Yeah, because as we know, the magician is as above, so below, the Hermetic, that basic Hermetic truth. But the magician is also as well using every skill, every tool on the table. So what this suggests is that, on the surface, but they're like, you know what? Let's tune in to Lena. Let's tune in to Ganga. Let's see what they have to say, because look how often things that we predicted have come true. But just as a community, for me, this magician card says it all. I think they do. I think they do.
So Sweet and Salty says she doesn't think they have the wherewithal to watch any readers. I take that point. I don't think it's them directly. No. I think it's their highly placed people who do it. And Suburban Housewife says, I think Pelosi has a reader.
Oh,
it surprised me, because Catholics really are pagans.
Painted over.
Also, any Catholics or ex-Catholics can get back to me on that.
Nancy Reagan as well was
she was out front
into astrology. Huh?
She was completely out front about it.
Yeah. So I think that is what an interesting way to end on that. That seemed to be a pretty affirmative yes. So maybe they are paying more attention than we realize. Thank you, everyone, for joining us this Christmas day / evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you're having a wonderful Christmas, be it with others or solo. It doesn't matter. Everyone's here. Ladies, any closing Christmas words and wisdom for, things in general? And then when we do our show on the 31st, remember, Saturday 31st is New Year's Eve. So we need to discuss the timing on that.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, it's up to you. It's your call.
No, I want to do it maybe earlier, because I go up at midnight, which
maybe
is
10 or something, your time, and then you can still go out. Well, for me, for my closing, I'd like to co-opt from Vladimir Zelensky from his talk, and he said his philosophy is laughter and love.
Oh, that's sweet. That's sweet. That's great.
Oh.
Lady G, what pearls do you have for us?
Yeah, just much love and light to everyone, and that's what we need to continue to bring to the planet. More love, light, and joy and openness, and be willing to put aside differences and come together.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. Come together like we do every Saturday, 17 time zones. You see, folks, it can be done.
Look at that. It's awesome.
Politicians, aides that are there watching us going, bloody hell. Look at the skill of these people. Listen to the words of wisdom. Read the comments. Listen, understand.
The comments are great. And thank you, Dorian. May we continue to ascend in peace and love.
Indeed. And I think that is perfect. So we will leave it there. Of course, we'll be back next Saturday, but maybe a little bit earlier, so I can go and see some fireworks and stuff like that.
Yes, sure.
Thank you for joining us, everyone, and we will see you soon. Many of you came. I'm astonished. And for those of you that are watching us maybe on Boxing Day, hello. I hope you're having a nice coffee and a nice lunch, and we will see you soon. But bye-bye. Oh, and thank you for the donations as well.
Punch.
Yes. Thank you for all the donations as well. I didn't get the chance to say everyone, but thank you guys. So until the next time, see you soon. Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, actually, I forgot. It takes a little while on this computer. Now I've clicked it. Let's